we're going to talk about what is going on with Uniswap, why Uniswap just suddenly started to increase in price from about June till now, and what is about to happen with Uniswap for the future bull market. Anyways, remember, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice, but let's get straight into it. So yeah, as you can see here, Uniswap was up between June and now inside of August, and it went up a pretty significant amount from about $2.50, right, $2.40 all the way up to about $4.50. So that's a pretty good increase right there, almost 100% increase right there, right? So that's a pretty decent gain inside of a bear market, and that is because Robinhood. And that's because, as you can see, the only way to trade Robinhood coins right now is really through Uniswap, right? And now Uniswap is working directly with one of these launch pads on Robinhood that has a lot of volume on it and a lot of people using it, which is now another reason why these Robinhood coins continue to increase inside of volume. So this is kind of helping push and prop Uniswap up, because now a lot of people are using stuff like this. So this is definitely helping Uniswap out a lot, right? And Trade Pools is just the platform, it's a launch pad on Robinhood chain where they can just launch coins like it's nothing, just like pump.fun, right? And there's a lot of volume going on there, and now Uniswap is pretty much getting behind them, right? They're pretty much promoting them. And the only way to, like I said, again, to really trade these coins is through Uniswap, right? And Uniswap, they're doing big things, right? They're even crowning themselves as the world's largest DEX, which is not a lie. I mean, they're bigger than MetaMask, in my opinion. And then it says the Uniswap dashboard is also now live on Blockworks. But this is pretty good marketing on Uniswap's half to be pushing so hard with the Robinhood coins, because they know that this is what people are primarily using to trade Robinhood coins. So why not prop your own project up alongside of it, right? Just by, staying relevant in the Robinhood chain area, right? And that's what comes with this. They're now promoting this launch pad, and they're promoting Robinhood coins, talking about them all the time. So it's pretty big. They also said Robinhood chain is here to stay. They said this today. So they're going to keep pushing this Robinhood chain narrative. And the more they do that, the bigger and better their chart is going to look. You're just going to see money flowing into Uniswap, right? So I think this could help Uniswap recover, right? Its all-time high was $44.92 5 years ago. And that is obviously a very long time ago, right? So let's see if Uniswap could possibly get back all the way back up there. That would be crazy for it to do that, but we are going to talk about how it could possibly do that here inside of this video. So let's get started on the technical analysis side of the video now that we kind of got all of this stuff taken care of. Now, what I'm looking at here, this is the weekly chart. So we're going to go from the weekly chart to the daily chart to the 4-hour chart to the hourly chart to the 30-minute chart, right? We're going to do all those charts and kind of look at what is happening inside of Uniswap and what's probably going to happen in the near future here. So the first thing I notice here when I look at this is the weekly chart. And when you look at that, the 200-day moving average is being used as support on the weekly chart. That's the white line here. And this 200-day moving average being used as support is good, because anytime we're below the 200-day moving average, we're pretty much bearish. We're in a bear market, right? And anytime it's below it, you always see it selling off until it finally reaches a good support, and then it comes back up, right? And what we've seen here is that it reached a good support because, this was a good support at the beginning of the project back in 2020. It was already a good support, right? I know this isn't a straight line, but it was already a good support back in 2020. So why wouldn't it be a good support now? That's why Uniswap ended up stopping around $2.29, $2.30, give or take. But now what we're seeing is that it pushed above the 200-day moving average on the weekly chart. And whenever it's above it, it's vice versa. Now it's bullish, right? Because it's above the 200-day moving average. So it's typically bullish, right? And now that it is above that 200-day moving average, it's now using it as a support. So if this 200-day moving average is broken right here and it drops below that 200-day moving average, Now we're going back bearish inside of Uniswap, right? But if it does not go below this 200-day moving average and it bounces up and then it breaks above the 50-day moving average, now we are officially bullish inside of Uniswap, right? And that 50-day moving average, the confirmation would probably be around like $4.50 by the time it gets back up there. Maybe even at $4, I don't know, somewhere around there. But wherever that 50-day moving average on the weekly chart is, after it passes that, then I would definitely say it's looking pretty bullish, right? So I think this is looking good for Uniswap. We just have to see if it goes below that moving average. And really, that's the only one you have to look at. You don't even have to look at the other time frames at that point. If you're doing a long-term trade, right? If you're trying to take this thing and do something long with it, right? Also, the percent R trend exhaustion on the weekly chart showing the white line, which is the short-term trend, far past the blue line, the long-term trend. Whenever that happens, we usually always see that pullback back down to that long-term trend, right? That short-term trend has to come back down. So pretty much there's a possibility that it could drop and could continue to pull back, right? It could break that 200-day moving average. That's why I said if it breaks the 200-day moving average, it's no longer bullish right now, right? And if it can't get above the 50-day, then it's still not bullish, right? So if we're about to break down here, then it's definitely bearish. If we get rejected at the 50-day and it continue downwards, then it's definitely bearish. And right now, I do believe we're still in the bear market. People are seeing, random things taking off here and there, but that's all it is. It's just a little glitch in the matrix, in my opinion. I think we're about to get a bigger dump inside the market, and no one's prepared for it. But everyone else seems to think that we're about to break out. So I guess it's controversial at this point. I think there's going to be a dump, like a bull trap. Let's go ahead and go over the next thing. Let's go out to the daily chart here. And on the daily chart, you can see that we're hitting the 200-day moving average as support on the daily, and we're kind of going below the 50-day. So that's why I said there's a possibility that this could be bearish, right? I still believe that the market is bearish, like I was mentioning before. But yeah, I still believe that we have some selling off to do in the market. So unfortunately, this might have been a bull trap right here, like I was mentioning before with a bull trap. This right here might be a bull trap, right? And it might continue downwards. There's a possibility that it does that, right? So that's something that you got to keep in mind. If it goes below this on the daily, also below this 200-day moving average right here, that's at about $3.50, $3.40, give or take. Let's say $3.45. All right, if it goes below that level and it continues downwards, then that's pretty bearish. So you definitely want to keep a watch out for that. We're also getting selling pressure here. This is called bearish divergence on the MACD, and bearish divergence causes this. It causes the dump, right? And bearish divergence is pretty much higher highs on the chart while simultaneously getting lower highs on the MACD. And you can see here, lower highs on the MACD, boom, 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 lower highs, and then you finally get that sell-off right at the end because it's the bearish divergence. And then you're getting the higher highs on your charts simultaneously while that's happening. And then when the percent R trend exhaustion gets overbought like this, boom, it goes down. So you're using multiple confluences to confirm whenever you're bearish and bullish. And by multiple confluences, I'm pretty much just saying you're using multiple indicators, right? You're using the 50-day moving average. Well, this is what I do, and this is pretty much why I make these videos so you guys can learn. But you're using a 50-day moving average, the 200-day moving average, the percent R trend exhaustion, and it's a free indicator. And then the MACD right here, you can use that as well. And then whenever I'm trading on smaller time frames, on like the 30-minute, 15-minute, 5-minute, 1-minute, I use VWAP because that helps once you go lower on the time frame. And that is exactly what we're about to do now. So now we're going to the 4-hour chart. So on the 4-hour chart for Uniswap, we're bouncing off of that 200-day moving average. So we might push up here to the 50-day moving average at $3.95. And that does make sense considering that we're oversold here on the percent R trend exhaustion. It could stay oversold for an extended period of time like it did back here May 2026. If it does that, then you're typically going to see an extended sell-off, right? And by that, I just mean it's just going to extend the sell-off, literally what it means. It's just going to continue to go down, 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 and then it'll find support, right? Somewhere towards the end of that extended sell off there on the percent R trend exhaustion. So that's a possibility as well. If that happens, you're just going to see the price slowly grind down, right? So that is another possibility here Also possibly building bullish divergence here. Bullish divergence is the opposite of the bearish divergence. It's the lower lows on the chart while also simultaneously getting the higher lows on the MACD. And if you look here, if we did that, then that would be pretty nice because that would set up another breakout. But it tried to do it here and it failed, right? So that is something that we got to keep in mind. There's a lot of bull traps going on. So it's very, very, very easy to get trapped inside of this market right now. So I would be extremely careful trying to trade Uniswap or any other coin. Also, another thing, we can also do another confluence. And confluence, you guys can just look up the definition. It's pretty much just we're using multiple indicators. We're using multiple things and strategies to tell us whether or not we are correct in our thesis, right? So anyways, this is a bull flag right there, right? And bull flags obviously are bullish patterns, right? That's your flag pull, and then your flag, and then your breakout. That's what it makes it a bull flag, right? And it could also be looked at as a falling wedge, which is also a bullish pattern, the falling wedge. All right. So what we're looking at here, and why I'm mentioning that, is that we're building the same exact pattern, right? We're building the same thing, and if this is going to be anything like the other one, it's going to be a continuation upwards, right? Now this is a falling wedge, and this is kind of more like a bull flag, but still a falling wedge. So this falling wedge here, we're bouncing on the bouncing off of this 200-day moving average. Is a possibility that it could have that continuation upwards from there. So that's what I'm watching out for. And if that happens, then the falling wedge could have a breakout upwards, and then you can see it push even higher, right? We can get into whether or where it would go if it was any higher. I would say $4.80. That's the obvious support that I see there. Just put a little horizontal line there because we have multiple touches on that support. So $4.80, and that was also used as that turning point there, and then trying to use it as resistance there. And then if we go into even further back, I'm pretty sure it continues to use that level. Yep, didn't even have to look at it, and I already know. 480 there, 480 there, 480 there, and so on and so forth, down back here, back here. So 480 is a pretty significant level inside of Uniswap. So if we were to have another breakout, $4.80 would probably be that level where it's like, okay, we might have a pullback now because we just hit major resistance. So take profits, take a little bit of profits at 480, at $4.80. If it pushes up to $4.80, right? Because then it'll probably pull back and have a continuation up if it's going to continue to be bullish, right? So that's something to watch out for here on the 4 hour. And then I mentioned we would talk about the hourly. I mean, same thing, bullish divergence here on the hourly as well. This is the perfect example of the bullish divergence. Higher lows here on your MACD while simultaneously creating lower lows on your charts. And let me draw that out for you. While simultaneously creating lower lows on your charts. And then you have your higher lows on your MACD, right? And as you can see here in this diagram, lower lows on the chart, higher lows on the MACD, bullish divergence. So eventually you'll learn it, and it'll be second nature. You'll just look at the chart, you'll be like, bullish divergence, or bearish divergence. And it'll just be second nature. The same thing with the chart patterns, same thing with the moving averages. It's really not that hard once you put a lot of hours into it, right? They say you need 10,000 hours to master a skill. I'm pretty sure I probably have like 10,000 hours in trading. But once you put those hours in and reading the charts and everything, you will become a pro at it. But anyways, let's move off to the 30-minute. That's the last one we're looking at. This is just super short term. On the %R trend exhaustion, like I said again, whenever you see the short-term trend, the white line going far past the blue line, which is the long-term trend, you usually see a good little pullback. And that's probably what's about to happen now. It's probably about to pull back just like it did right there. And it wasn't, oh yeah, it was kind of serious actually. Bear flag right here. So this was a bear flag right here. And then it had a continuation downwards, creating another bear flag right here, possibly pushing back down. So by the time I put this video out, it'll probably be around $3.40, possibly lower. And it actually might break that 200-day moving average, possibly, right? And then when we look here, we still have bullish divergence, but it's not helping. Every single time it's about to break out, it just dumps. About to break out. Let's see if it dumps, right? Because it did it 3 times, right? About to break out here, and then just dumps, right? So let's see if it does it a 4th time. So yeah. So this is pretty much all I got for you guys today. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. Definitely hit the like button and subscribe. Shout out to the member of the channel that recommended this and asked me to go over Uniswap. If you guys want me to go over a project specifically like this, go ahead and become a member of the channel. It's only $9.99 per month. And as you can see, I did a full deep dive on this, and that was a lot. And like I said, I literally will, make multiple videos for you too. So anyone who's a member, just go ahead and make a request. I know I haven't been making videos lately, but obviously if you're a member, I'm making the video for you, right? So go ahead and become a member. I just been focusing on the group, not really trying to promote the group right now either. Just kind of trying to, find a way to perfect the group, right? So this is what is going on right now. So shout out to you guys. Again, hit the like button, subscribe, and as always, I'll be back with another video.